I took while my husband was away visiting his family. I was here for 2 weeks doing all kinds of fun things around the house, or fun things for me. I was organizing stuff, cleaning. Cleaning is not necessarily a fun thing, but I have learned that when he goes out of town to clean the house as soon as he leaves, and then I get to enjoy a clean house forever how long he's gone, because one person, two people in the house seem to make it more than twice as dirty as one person in the house, at least especially in the summertime with mowing grass and stuff and going in and out. So anyway, I cleaned and then I started organizing things like my linen closet. I finished a sewing project. So I want to capture a page of things that I did. And while I obviously have a story to tell there, I want this design to be a little bit more product driven. I have the Saturday Mornings collection from Basic Gray, which I think is really appropriate for this one, as it has a lot of really great words and things in the embellishments. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick out the embellishments to go with this, and I know we'll be using some 6x6 paper. I don't have much 12x12 for this collection, and I'm not sure there's any of it here that I'm actually going to use. I'm going to use the embellishments and the 6x6. So let's pull this out. This did not, well, it did come from Basic Gray, but I don't think it, no, this came from Tuesday Mornings, but the colors match, so I threw it in there. And this also came with the collection. So let's take all this stuff out here and just start going through the embellishments and seeing which ones that I think I want to use on my page that help me tell my story. So I'm sorting my embellishments out. I'm going to start with this cork. I'm just going to cut out a few pieces that I'm fairly sure that I want to use, but I'll leave them on their backing so I can easily move them around on my layout. I may use some more, but we'll see as we move along. The right hand pile is stuff that I'm thinking of using, and then the left hand is the stuff I'll put away for other projects. The retail therapy was not necessarily things I did around the house, but I did go out and do a little shopping. There's some really cute quotes here about creativity and all. I don't end up using them. I decided those would be better perhaps on an art journal page later on. And some pieces like those scissors are really large. I wish those had been a little bit smaller. Now I'm not going to use craft cardstock, I just have that piece as something to lay things on. My initial thought was to run the photos along the bottom and then put the embellishments up towards the top of the page. But as I started to lay things out, I felt like they might work better in a vertical columns. I'm still kind of sorting at this point and deciding how I want to organize things. Sometimes I start with a sketch, and sometimes the sketch evolves from the page. And I know I'm going to use some 6x6 paper, but there wasn't anything that I absolutely for sure wanted to use in 6x6. For background paper, I've picked this paper from October Afternoon. It was in my October Afternoon box, that they warehouse box. I don't remember what collection it was from. It just had a few odd pieces in there, and this was one of them. I think I'm pretty sure that's where it came from, with those green stripes. And I wanted the color green, and I just sort of liked this paper because I thought that the horizontal stripes of it would sort of balance the vertical columns of one column of photos and the other column of embellishments. And then I can use those stripes as a place to put my journaling. I do want to use some 6x6 paper behind the photos and the journaling to sort of tie things together. And I'm looking for some of the softer patterns. I may do something with that red, but I want some patterns that don't really jump out at you because I've got enough going on here on the page. My title is going to be 2 weeks, and I picked some letters that had lots of E's in them, and then I realized I could just abbreviate weeks. I don't think of doing that often enough. I should, because it saves a lot of your vowels. So we have 2 weeks at home. And I'm going to kind of tidy those up, those letters up there a little bit under the
foam thickers. And then for this yellow happy embellishment, I want to put it, or this printed happy embellishment, I want to put it on a yellow paper, kind of like the sun. I just didn't put it far enough in to get a good cut, so I moved it around, and then I'm just cutting so that it will have a nice border all the way around it. And I did the same thing with the Doer, D-O-E-R, sticker there, or it's a vellum piece, and I put it on the yellow backing as well. And I was trying to make pointed designs with my paper, and I really should have measured them to get good points. I finally decided that the fact that I could never get my points straight is just character. In reality, it doesn't matter because they end up getting covered up with so much stuff that it doesn't matter that they're not perfectly symmetrical. I even tried measuring or marking one of them there, and I still couldn't get it cut straight. There's so much on this page, and again, so much of it gets covered up you don't really notice it. So I'm gluing things down on the left-hand page. And I did one kind of fancy print there with the floral. And then the rest of them mostly softer prints. And the right-hand page, I'm going to glue those embellishments down, and I do a lot of that off camera. They're arranged pretty much the way they are now. The me time is going to go with the photos. And then all the rest of the embellishments are going to be over on the right-hand page with some more of the 6x6, same 6x6 papers. Okay, so I have those glued down, and I typed up my journaling and printed it out on some ivory cardstock, and then I just cut it down, and I'm putting one item on each of the white stripes in the paper. And these were things that I did during the week. Some creative things, some fun things, going out to dinner with a friend. I had card class one night. I baked one of my favorite things, lemon pound cake, which I don't make very often. My husband's not a big pound cake fan, and of course it makes a lot. Alright, deciding on the smaller embellishments, I added just a couple more die cuts to the left-hand side. I wanted to bring some more blue in, and in the thickers, sometimes you'll have things like the little asterisks and stuff that you can use as embellishments. My camera cut out on me, so I lost a little bit of putting some of these last embellishments on. I decided to use the arrows from Basic Gray from a different collection because I liked the shape. And I just put a few little touches here and there to kind of tie things together. So the page is a bit of a departure for me. It used to be that my pages very often went all the way to the edges. I didn't have a lot of empty space on a page. And more recent years I have left more white space, but this one uses up every inch of the page, and it's really a little more cluttered and all than I'm used to. I haven't decided whether I love it. I like it okay. I haven't decided whether I love it yet or not. It certainly does tell the story in that I have a list of all kinds of things that I did in my time to myself, and the embellishments will reinforce that. And lots of fun products. So it was a fun page to make. As I say, it's just a little bit different than what I normally do. So you'll have to weigh in the comments whether you like this style or some of my other style pages better. But we have to agree that it's definitely something different. So thanks so much for joining me today as I use the Saturday morning collection from Basic Gray. And I hope that you did enjoy the video. And if you have any comments or suggestions or questions, I love to get those. Thanks again.